All right, so I do a lot of videos, like a lot. And some of you, I expect that you watch them all, but not everybody watches them all. I have a book right now that talks about viruses and talks about the neutrality of the vaccinations. So this way you have to understand what's in a vaccine. Now, I've written about it, but I'm sure it got lost in a lot of my news feed. And so some of you maybe have read the book, but are not conceptualizing my information or drawing the connections. And okay, that's my own fault that I'm not giving you the connections. But I'm going to give you the connections in my next book. But here's the thing. This is what I want you to understand. What's in a vaccine? Vaccines have elements on the periodic tables. Okay, elements on the periodic tables. They have antibodies, bioengineered monoclonal antibodies. Where do these antibodies come from? They come from the protein of viruses in the environment. What kind of viruses? Well, we have this COVID-19 virus that has specific proteins that have surface marker antigen on them that are then put into the vaccine, and that induces an immune response into your body. Your body creates antibodies to then try to stop the evolution. And it also does give you a viral protein and exposure to the environment. And it should upgrade you, and it would, but too many antibodies will then cause harm. Okay, it's about balance. And so, yes, on an imbalanced body that's not releasing the excess, and this is for you, Brett Lauderdale, why you have to do the J juice. Because the J juice releases the excess antibodies that you've accumulated from, yes, from vaccinations, from those who've been newly vaccinated, as well as any other antibodies from other viral proteins that you've been exposed to. When you do a titer test is measuring how many antibodies would trigger the algorithms to cause a positive or a negative. So when you do a drug test would tell you how many antibodies are present, which means that you had some kind of recent exposure. You did a drug not too long ago, and so those antibodies are at the surface, triggering a positive on a titer test. So vaccines are only a snapshot of your environment. When you read my book, Brett Lauderdale, when you read my book, Brett, I talk about the microbiome. The microbiome is also in your vaccines, and they're also out there in the environment. The microbiome are a bunch of people, lay down, sugar, are a bunch of people in your environment that you have to adapt to. The microbiome is also in your vaccines, which are a snapshot of the people. However, they can be turned up or they can be turned down. What does it mean by turned up and turned down? When you bind monoclonal antibodies, different viral proteins. Now, this is where then the whole thing with the Judy Mikovits and stuff, and she's like, oh my God, this thing causes cancer. Cancer is just evolution. It just causes now an agonist antibody to go and then release or have a prostaglandin release more acids to encourage more growth. And so yes, some people will get cancer because the growth of that specific area in the body is growing faster than the rest of the body, which means it's taking up all the energy. The energy is not being distributed correctly. So that's why some people get cancer, because they don't have a balancing force within their body to be able to calibrate and control different mechanisms that serve to have the intention or inadvertently turn hormones off and on. Because there are off and on switches to the different hormones out there. Sugar! All right? So vaccines are not poison. It's the fact that you are not able to handle. You are not able to handle the upgrade. And it's an upgrade. Do you realize that I've been exposed to the COVID, and every single time I've been exposed to the COVID, I have another revelation? Chili juice can only do so much. Chili juice deals with the current state of your environment. If the current state of your environment has like no people, no new information, no new viruses, then I would just be status quo, living in this status quo, in this nice, relatively, peaceful homeostasis. Sugar. But when I get exposed to a new data, like in a virus, read my book, Brett Lauderdale. Read my book, Brett Lauderdale. I point it all out. When you get exposed to a virus which is part of your microbiome, a new virus, a new parasite, a new protozoa, a new protein, a new fungus, a new bacteria, You have to adapt. When you get exposed, you have to adapt, which means your body's going to go to an upgrade status. You're going to have symptoms. You're going to have antibodies that come to surface and then going to get released. You're going to have mucus. You're going to have headaches. Sugar! You're going to have headaches. Sugar, come here. You're going to have headaches. Sugar, come here. Sugar. Sugar. Yeah, she's probably trying to scratch her butt. I'll have to scratch her butt in a minute. But you're going to have all these different symptoms. Okay? So if you think vaccines are poison, then it means that you have an imbalance that you don't understand that you can release the excess. You must be able to understand balance. What's in a vaccine? Okay, the aborted fetus cells. Yeah, that's unethical to some people. Religion, doesn't like aborted fetus cells. But how do you house a virus? A virus needs a host. And guess what? For you to get a virus in a vaccine, you have to take flesh. You have to take tissue. You have to take flesh. You have to take tissue in order to then transport that virus properly. Okay? And so yes, there is going to be DNA in your vaccines because that is basically being exposed to a person in your environment. Now, some people cannot handle the amount of exposure to people in their environment, so they either social distance, wear a mask, or they get a vaccine. But they don't know how many monoclonal antibodies are in the vaccine, so it is Russian roulette. You may have a lot of exposure of people in that vaccine, more than what you get out there in the environment, and some people will have a major evolutionary upset. And then they will contract some kind of disease and some kind of autoimmunity or some kind of cancer, disease, chronic illness because they haven't upgraded their body to handle that that upgrade. They haven't balanced out their device to handle that upgrade. Vaccines are not poisonous, but your body, your imbalanced body, is what's going to make it poisonous because you haven't taken personal responsibility. You live in a world of 7 billion people who are mutating viruses. Some people are releasing viruses intentionally. That's speculation, yes. But you can go and take different monoclonal antibodies and you can bind them together and you can create a different entity and create a new virus in the environment for everyone to get used to. And then you're going to see people have an upset of homeostasis and people are going to be upgraded out of existence. So if you think, come here, sugar. So if you think vaccines are poisonous, then you better upgrade your body to handle the new environment, to handle the new upgrade. If not, then yeah, you're right. You're going to fulfill your own destiny. Vaccines are poisonous to you because you are at a deficit. You are imbalanced. You haven't taken personal biochemical responsibility for your own issues. And so no, vaccines are not poisonous. But the imbalanced population cannot handle their environment, and so they're going to blame. Here's the thing. If you can't adapt to a new environment, why is that my fault? Why is it that food's fault? If you can't handle a dessert, if you cannot handle this food, if you cannot handle this vaccine, if you can't handle this drug, which you shouldn't be taking drugs anyways, but if you can't handle the world that you live in that's FDA approved, then what kind of issues do you hold within you? And a lot of you hold a lot of issues. I try to be patient with all of you, and I understand there is so much to understand with Jilly Juice. There's so much to understand with the world that you live in. And I'm attempting to try to outline all of that in my next book. Because a lot of my revelations and my understanding duality have come from the COVID-19. Have come from the new virus in the environment. I actually experienced an upgrade with the COVID-19. It wasn't poison to me. Do you realize that the virus that I've been exposed to actually upgraded me? But guess what? It's downgrading all of you that are not doing J-Juice. So yeah, you have every right to be scared of the vaccines as well as new viruses because you're not actively upgrading your body. But guess what? I experienced an upgrade with the COVID-19. And so all I'm giving to you is an opportunity to experience the upgrade, or yes, you will promote the downgrade. You will reflect that you are being downgraded because you're not taking care of your device. It's like putting, MS-DOS or taking an old computer, not MS-DOS, taking an old computer like from way back in 1985 and trying to put Windows 10 or trying to put Windows Longhorn or all these different, newest platforms onto an old ass computer. They're going to conflict and you're going to have now chaos. So I'm going to go take care of my dog. But you guys, I'm telling you, if you think vaccines are poison, then you're showing that you're not doing J-Juice. And that's most of the world. All right. Bye. Hey, Gail. All right, I'm coming. Sugar.